Good evening, everyone. Today we will present Chapter 7 Containerization and Leasing Practices. Before we continue any further, let me first explain what containerization is to give you a clear start. Containerization is a method of carrying freight that involves packing it into huge shipping containers and transporting it. There are few characteristics of the containers for long-term use. It should be strong enough for repeated use, designed to facilitate the carriage of goods, fitted with devices permitting its ready handling, easy filling and emptying, internal volume at least 1 meter cube or more. Now we know what is containerization, let's talk about history. The idea of containerization was conceived by Malcolm McLean, who is referred to as the father of containerization. It all began in 1956 when he bought a ship and converts it to transport just containers. The first transatlantic container shipping services began in 1966 between America and European, to be exact, New York and Rotterdam. Initially, shippers were skeptical about the potential of long-distance container shipping that was perceived to be more suitable for short-distance and domestic markets. By 1970, the advantages of container shipping became apparent, and by 2001, it is used for all around the world. Now we turn our attention to Malaysia's history. It all began in Port Klang. Malaysia's economy began to thrive in the early 1900s. It wasn't until 1971 that Port Klang welcomed the first container ship, MV Benevan. In 1972, built by the Malayan Railways, the enhanced Port Swettenham, then renamed Port Klang, has marked the evolution of the nation's port industry. As early as 1973, Port Klang acquired its first container ship of the third generation model. Similarly to Abdul Razak, who is revered as the father of development in Malaysia, Muhammad Zain is revered as the father of containerization in the country's ports.
Next, I'm going to talk about types of containers. Different types of containers are available for different applications. Containers are available in different sizes with different load carrying capacity. The standard size of containers are 20 feet and 40 feet. The most common types of containers are dry containers, open-top containers, reefer containers, flat rack containers, and platform containers. Dry containers are suitable for general cargo. These containers have forklift pockets and also lashing devices that are provided on the top and bottom longitudinal rails and the corner posts. Open-top containers are suitable for cargo with extra height. The top can be covered with tarpaulin. These containers provide forklift pockets, lashing devices, and corner posts. The ideal cargo for these containers are agricultural and construction machinery, ingots, logs, scrap, roll of plastic sheets, project cargo, marble slabs, and castings. Reefer containers are suitable for cargo that constantly needs temperature above and below freezing point. It is possible to get fresh air supply within the containers in the quantity required to keep the product inside safe. The inserting material of these containers is polyurethane foam is sandwiched between two walls of the containers. The temperature can be set between 25 degrees Celsius and negative 25 degrees Celsius. Flat rack containers are suitable for heavy loads and extra wide cargo. The bottom of these containers has strong construction. It also has fixed end walls allow bracing, lashing, and stacking. The ideal cargo for these containers are air conditioners, boilers, construction machinery, electric generators, and knee springs. Platform containers are suitable for heavy loads and oversized cargo. The bottom of these containers has strong construction. The ideal cargo for these containers are overland and overheight items, pipes, rods, plywood sheets, large irregularly shaped items, and steel beams. There are also other types of containers such as half-height containers, side door containers, ventilated containers, bark containers, insulated containers, collapsible containers, and tank containers. Half-height containers are very similar to open-top containers but are only half of the height. It is used for heavy and dense cargo such as steel beams. Side doors containers have side doors. It is very suitable for cargo which fits the inner dimensions of the container but still is too wide to fit through the end door. In other respects, this type of container is like a regular general purpose container. Ventilated containers is very suitable for cargo that needs ventilation such as coffee or cocoa. They have small openings at each corner to let the fresh air into or out of the container but block the entry of rain and seawater. Barge containers. Barge containers is suitable for the carriage of dry bulk cargo. It provides you 3 equivalent manholes, forklift pockets, and lashing devices. It is very ideal for grains, granules, sand, nuts, beans, malt, sugar, and dry chemicals. Insulated containers. Insulated containers is like a normal box containers with insulating material. As a result, there is minimum temperature fluctuation inside. Insulated containers are also attached to a separate temperature control device. Collapsible containers. The box can be collapsed completely. It is used on routes that have little return cargo and containers will be returned empty. There is a substantial space saving on returning empties. Tank containers. Tank containers is suitable for chemical products such as inflammables, oxidizing agents, toxic substances, and corrosive. It is also suitable for food products such as alcohols, fruit juice, edible oils, and food additives. Next, let's look at the benefits of containerization. Benefits to shippers. Shippers can get reduction in transportation costs. There is a major saving in transportation costs because for the same volume, the ocean freight for containerized cargo is less than break bulk cargo. They can also get price discount when they enter into global contracts. Saving in port charges. Port authorities charge less tariff for containerized cargo on account of the ease of handling. Reduction in warehousing and inventory costs. The containerized cargo has to spend less time in warehouse and in transit, which substantially brings down the warehousing and inventory costs. Reduction in packing costs. It provides a protective metallic cover to the cargo to protect the cargo from theft, pilferage, and also to an extent damage from oil and water. Shippers can also get reduction in insurance premium. Insurance companies charge lower premium rates for containerized cargo because of the better protection provided by the container to the cargo inside. It is also more convenient for shippers because containerization of cargo enables door-to-door delivery of cargo. Better acceptance. Ports all around the developed world prefer containerized cargo. Emergence of new markets. Shipper can save a substantial amount of money in transportation if the cargo is sent in a container. Next, benefits to ship owners. Ship owners can get reduction in turnaround time. Containerization has speeded up cargo handling on the ports. More cargo carrying capacity. A containerized ship can carry more cargo as compared to general cargo ships. In addition, higher operating speeds enable the ship to completely voyage relatively quickly. Higher return on investment. Ship owners will receive higher return on investment. Global contract. Ship owners and shippers are now involved with global contracts with multinational corporations like Nestle. These MNC use their global volumes to get discount on the ocean freight. The shipping line use this large volume as their base cargo to make their voyage more profitable. Higher profitability. Each day saved at port adds to the profitability of the shipping lines. Inland operation. It adds to the revenues of the shipping lines. Last but not least is benefits to port authorities. First is time saving. Each container has a unique serial number that helps in its easy recognition and identifying the cargo within. It is also fast and convenient loading and unloading because of the easy identification of containers. It will help in the quick loading and unloading of cargo at the port. Last, marketing efforts. In the pre-containerization days, the strategy of the shipping line was to follow the cargo. It means that the shipping line would chase the cargo. However, due to containerization, shipping lines need not chase the shippers for marketing their services. Rationalization of cargo handling charges. The port terminals could charge cargo handling charges in a less complex and easy to understand method as compared to the complex and detailed tariffs of the break bulk era.
Let's now discuss 5 container leasing practices. First, one-way lease. It is outward journey or one journey. It is a win-win situation. The container user gets cargo moved and you get your container to where you need it. To make it even better, the container user pays for the shipping of the container, meaning you don't have to pay anything to get your container to your preferred location. Second, round-trip lease. In this case, the container is leased for both outward as well as inward journeys. This is used when either the shipper has both ways movement of cargo or when there is no return depot at the port of destination. Third, short lease. A short lease implies that the container is leased for 60 or 90 days. Both parties must agree upon location and condition. Fourth, long lease. In a long lease, the container is leased for 2, 3 or more years. It is used for long-term agreement. The lessee is responsible for all aspects. Last is master lease. Shipping lines enter into a master lease contract with leasing companies. It has flexibility to the shipping line. Leasing company is responsible to manage any necessary repairs and reposition it to any new location. Whenever a leased container is returned, the owner makes a receipt known as the EIR or Equip Interchange Receipt. This is an example of EIR. There are 5 advantages of leasing. What are those? One of them is, at many places, the leasing companies waive off, drop off and pick up charges when there is a slump in the demand for containers. Containers can be returned to the leasing company as soon as the demand of the shipping line is over. Leasing also saves shipping lines from blocking their capital, which would happen if the lines were to own the containers. Most shipping lines have a policy regarding the percentage of containers owned against percentage leased. And also, it is possible to lease a container at a short notice in case of a sudden urge in demand for containers. Lastly, the newly formed shipping lines can start off with leased containers without investing their capital in the ownership of the containers.
Moving on to the next point, we will look into inland container depots. Inland Clearance Depot (ICD) is a designated area licensed under the Customs Act 1967. It offers handling and storage services to facilitate the activities of import and export. It is created to reduce port congestion and for convenience of the public by adhering to door-to-door delivery principle. It functions as a dry port. An inland port is a site located away from traditional land, air and coastal borders. It facilitates and processes international trade through strategic investment in multimodal transportation assets and by promoting value-added services as goods move through the supply chain. The ICD performs the same functions as a port, except for the loading and unloading of ships. In this way, a container will bypass the port container depot and be processed nearer the consignee or shipper. An ICD is a large, secure area where cargo carrying containers are stored under customs bond. After the creations of ICDs, the shippers can save time and money by calling the containers from a nearby ICD. Then, the excise and customs clearance can take place and documentation is simplified. Inland container depots play a significant role in international supply chains. There are 4 functions of ICD. First, provide transportation logistics services for export-import as well as domestic cargo in containers. Second, facilitate trade to and from the industries based in areas far from the seaports and international airports. Third, reduce the restrictions at seaports by freeing up storage space in container yards. Fourth, create employment opportunities and development in rural areas. There are 8 duties and responsibilities of an ICD. First, get in check. All containers entering the ICDs are checked for damage or contamination. Empty containers are examined both internally and externally. The stuffed containers are examined only externally on arrival. Damages then are reported to the container owner. Second, get out check. All containers are checked for their condition on their way out of the ICDs. Damaged empty containers are not sent for stuffing. Third, documentation. An equipment interchange receipt EIR is issued every time equipment is interchanged between two parties. The EIR contains details such as the names of the parties involved, container number, seal number, name of the transporter, and vehicle number. Fourth, reporting. All the movements of containers in and out of an ICD is notified to the owner of the containers. The communication is carried out through electronic data interchange. Fifth, repairs and maintenance. Any repair work undertaken at an ICD must conform to the customs approval standards. 6. Storage. ICDs have to make suitable arrangements for safe storage of containers. Empty containers are stacked one on top of the other. ICDs must have suitable material handling equipment for moving the containers within the premises. 7. Dispatch. ICDs arrange for road and rail transportation of the cargo to the ports. They also undertake staffing and de-staffing operations if required. 8. Miscellaneous duties and responsibilities. These include sealing the containers, lashing, securing and bracing odd-sized cargo, and conducting container conditioning surveys. Now, let's look at movements of goods into an ICD. For the first situation, in case of imported goods, declaration on goods must be made in customs number 8 form for transporting them to an ICD, yet tax on the goods is suspended. For the second situation, in case of goods produced in Malaysia, the treatments of tax on such goods are as follows. First, no tax is due for locally produced goods, including from free industrial zones or licensed manufacturing warehouses. Second, tax incurred on services provided for moving the goods. Third, tax is suspended as declaration of the goods has been made in customs number 8 form if goods are moved from a licensed warehouse. For the third situation, if goods are moved from East Malaysia, then the movement of the goods into ICD needs only be declared in customs number 3 form, yet tax is not applicable. Next, the removal of goods from an inland clearance depot is as follows. The exporter needs to declare the exported goods in custom number 2 form in order to claim any input tax incurred on the goods, since exportation of goods is zero rated. As of local consumption, declaration must be made in custom number 1 form, yet any custom duties and tax due must be paid to Royal Customs before the goods are taken out as import.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will explain to you guys about the liability of an ICD operator. If the following conditions are met, an ICD operator may seek to become a tag registered person if the following criteria are complied with. You are doing what you are doing for a company, therefore everything you do account. Next, you are making a taxable supply in Malaysia and the value of such supplies has exceeded or is projected to exceed the required level for the last of future 12 months. Next, we will go about responsibility as an ICD operator. The first responsibility as an ICD operator is bank guarantee. As an ICD operator, you must provide a bank guarantee to cover the amount of duty or tax owed on important goods held at any given moment. The second responsibility as an ICD operator is stock record. As an ICD operator, you must keep track the lot numbers, and for each shipment of item at the warehouse operator assign a unique lot number to each product. It is necessary in order to trace a shipment's specific item. The third responsibility as an ICD operator is return and audit report. The return and audit report must be submit monthly return on the movement of goods and discrepancy report if applicable. The audit report must be sent to the relevant tax officer or customs officer. Tax official may audit your account if they deem it necessary. Next, keeping of record and account. As an ICD operator are responsible for maintaining the following record and accounting document, such as tax invoice, invoice of receipt, debit credit notes, ledgers, import-export or in-transit declaration form, or monthly stock return. Next, discrepancy report, in-handling report, out-handling report, monthly stock listing, and other record required by the Director General of Royal Custom. Next, maintaining other supporting documents which provide evidence for movement of goods, such as shipping note, bill of lading or AWL bills, customer instruction, and letter of credit. Next, we will go about the Malaysia Seaport Inland Clearance Depot connectivity. Malaysia foreign trade and economy are supported by three major container seaport, which is at Port Klang, Port of Tanjung Pelepas (PTP), and Port Penang. With the possibility for increased container volume at this seaport, there is more demand on the seaport industry to strengthen inland clearance depot and connectivity in order to efficiently and effectively support container cargo movement from the foreland to the inland. Next, connectivity is defined as a set of physical qualities that include transportation connection, such as rail and road, as well as connection to inland freight facilities. Here is the example of network of Malaysia seaport with ICDs. Next, we will go about the network of Malaysia inland with ICDs. There are three performance of connectivity network of Malaysia inland with ICD, which is rail transport connection, road transport connection, and linkage with inland freight facilities. We will go into the rail transport connection. The rail transport connection is connected from Padang Besar to Johor Bahru Rail, which is a part of the Singapore Commuting Rail Link network. The rail network has the main catchment of industrial areas such as Ipoh, Klang Valley, and connect transport nodes such as major container seaport, which is Penang Port, Port Klang, and PTP, and 4 dry port located near Padang Besar, Ipoh, Seremban, and Segamat. The 3 container seaport all provide a train service of 6 trips per day connecting to the other nodes in the inland. Next, we will go about the road transportation connection. The road network in Malaysia cover 3 sub-networks. Example, Malaysian Federal Road System, Malaysian State Road System, and Malaysia Expressway System. The North-South Expressway, which is plus, link the Thai border and Singapore and connect to the major industrial area and seaport. The Malaysia Road System facilitate almost 80% of the nation freight logistic activities. The major container seaport Penang Port and Klang NPTP are close to the main cities of Penang, Klang, and Johor, respectively, and these cities are the most congested region in Malaysia. Next, we'll go about the last performance of connectivity Malaysia inland with ICD, which is linkage with freight facilities. In Malaysia, there are several major inland freight facilities, including 4 dry port, which is Padang Besar Cargo Terminal, PBCT, Ipoh Cargo Terminal, ICT, Nilai Inland Port, NIP, and Segamat Inland Port, SIP. And the freight terminals such as Sungai Way Inland Clearing Depot and Bukit Kayu Hitam. They are all connected to container seaport, either way by road or rail transport, or both. In summary, each container seaport has a road network to its ICD. However, the quality of connection require improvement. In addition to this issue, high congestion and the heavily used road infrastructure, the high number of road accidents in the congested area, especially close to main seaport, is another problem affecting the quality of the road connectivity.
That's all from us. If you have any question, you can ask it in the chat room. To that end, we'll do our best to answer. Thank you.